Hello plant people, how are you guys doing today? If you're new around here, my name's Ashley and I'm a soil scientist. In today's video, we're going to be looking at edible flower arrangements and how to make your entire garden, whether that's container garden, in the ground, raised beds, edible. And there is a huge mindset shift in the gardening world to food security, and that's awesome. But the question is, how do you make your containers or your pots look pretty while also making them edible and providing that food security that we want and need? The benefit to doing an edible arrangement as a focal point or a beauty point in your yard is that it actually takes the labor and the work out of deadheading, because you are going to be routinely deadheading both the flowers to eat, but then also the foliage you're going to be trimming back for a nice salad. So it really helps to motivate you to keep your pots and containers really nice and cleaned up, and really it's no extra work. And this was a comment left on my community page on YouTube where I asked, if you had one request of a video that you absolutely must get out of me, please drop it down below. And a large majority of you actually asked for an edible flower video. So here we are today in the garden. This is my shade garden behind me. It gets nearly no sun. If you know me on a personal level and you've ever seen my backyard, you do know there is a ton of trees and buildings everywhere. So because of that, I don't get a ton of sun in all areas. So I'm very limited in what I can grow in a in-ground flower bed. And in this case, it is my shade garden. So I can do a tour of my entire garden, vegetables and in-ground kind of flower beds. Just let me know in the comments down below. So let's jump into what it takes to make an edible garden top to bottom, regardless of what space you have or what kind of look you're going for, and how to incorporate edible flowers in a pretty way that's going to still look good at barbecues and really impress people, while also giving you the convenience and the food security while saving you some money. So I will leave a link down below, which is going to refer you right back to the Gardening in Canada website, where you're going to be able to look at my suggestion on edible flowers or edible plants that you can put into containers, because I won't be able to list them all out today. But the thing you're looking for is the exact same as if you were looking for an actual flower arrangement in a container or in a garden. You're looking for thrillers, fillers, and spillers. If you've never heard that before, a thriller would be something that's very, very large, very, very tall, very, very showy. And I will show some examples in my garden of what I'm doing for a thriller that is edible. So a great example is something like corn or artichokes, for example. Chives will work as well as an edible grass that's going to look like any sort of other edible grass. And then for a filler, this is something that has a mounding style of growing. So what I did in my garden this year is I did a lot of pansies. You can also do marigolds. Marigold flowers, if you guys didn't know, are kind of like the poor man's saffron, is what people like to call it, and actually kind of adds a peppery taste to dishes while also adding that beautiful color. So something that is mounding in nature. Oregano would work as well. Let me know in the comments down below what other plants or edible flowers you have that are oregano style, and I will again show you some examples of what that may look like. And then your last one is going to be a spiller. So for spillers, you can go with rosemary, thyme, mint, nasturtiums. All of these are great examples of spillers. So something that's going to hang over the pot. So this year what I did is I've done hanging baskets that are edible, container baskets that are edible, and then a raised kind of kitchen garden herb style. And next year I actually think I'm going to dive into this even deeper and go even harder. If you guys don't know me on a personal level, you may not know that my absolute favorite plant is the purple petunia. Now, while you can eat these, they're not going to harm you. Their taste is less than stellar. So I'm going to try to pull back slowly on my petunia excitement and try to lean more into herbs and edible plants. So let's jump over into the garden and just look at exactly what I'm growing and why it's edible. So if you guys didn't know, all the hostas behind me, those are edible. The best time to harvest them to eat in a salad is actually when they are very fresh and very new. They are a little bit more tender and the texture is a little bit nicer. Once they start getting a little bit larger, they're not as tasty, but hostas are an edible plant and they work great in full sun and shade, full shade even. This is full shade here. Another one that I have in the front yard is my lilac. Now my lilac isn't in bloom yet, but you can make lilac teas, lilac syrup, a whole bunch of different things. Lilac honey, for example. Again, the flowers are edible. And then here I have my hanging basket tree. Now this is a shady area and that's okay because when we have shade we get more foliage. So in this one I have some lobelia that I grew from seed and then some nasturtium as well. So nasturtium flowers, leaves and pods are all edible. And what would have been really nice and what I was aiming for was actually violets instead of lobelia because violets are edible. Lobelia I think you can eat, don't quote me on it, but I'm pretty sure you can eat. It's just they're not as tasty, and so that's what you're going for. So a really good rule of thumb, guys, is that all plants are edible. It's which ones taste good. So what you should be looking for when you're looking for edible plants isn't just searching simply edible plants. You should be searching for things that you are allergic to ensure you don't eat things you are allergic to or things in the family you are allergic to. And then the second thing you should be looking for is taste and texture, because that's going to be actually the big thing behind whether or not you can or cannot eat it. So let's jump over to my raised herb bed. Okay, so behind me here we have the herb raised bed that Bob made me. Don't mind all the dead trees there. I'm going to be using those. We had a tornado warning rip through the area and we have a very old large tree. It was actually just the one in the previous clip that you saw behind me. Anyways, we went on a rampage of trying to cut off as many limbs as possible that were weak before the tornado hit, and this is the aftermath here. This is my raised herb bed, and in here I have some spillers. So I have mint, for example. I have oregano here, which will eventually come out over the edge, and then I have rosemary back here. A good example of thrillers you could have in a container or at the back row of your herb garden, edible garden, is parsley or cilantro. It's actually relatively high. And then I have some chives, and you can see it looks just like an ornamental grass, but it's edible, which is really, really nice. And then another one that you can use as a thriller, it doesn't look very thrilling right now, is actually stevia. So this is a great example of different kinds of thrillers as well as spillers. I have some purple basil in the back here, which is really quite pretty. And then I also have regular basil, just a regular old basil bush eventually is just fine. And then an example of a filler that would work would be the lettuce. So I have this very densely planted, almost microgreen densely planted over here, and you can get different colors. So you can get purple lettuce, you can get lime green, dark green, you name it, the earth is your oyster. So this right here would be another great filler, and again, it's going to remain a filler because you're continuously going to be harvesting from it and keeping it nice and cut down and damped. So that's some examples of what you can do in a raised bed or in a decorative kitchen garden. So let's head over to some containers to look at what I've done over there. Okay, so here I have a container, and this has simply potatoes inside of it with some onions. So obviously my thriller here is my onions in the middle with my potatoes around the outside, and I specifically got more of an oriental type potato that has kind of like a purple green vein in it. Very, very pretty, very, very unique. And I just had to top this once again. I'm going to leave the center obviously bare because I don't want to bury my onions too deep, but I'm going to mound my potatoes once more, and this pot will be totally complete. So here is a pot that I have on my deck. It is full sun, and I have a combination of giant nasturtium, which are different than the ones that you guys saw in the hanging pots. These ones have very, very large leaves and eventually very large flowers. And in the middle of all that, which it's not much of a thriller yet, but it will be soon, is actually this pepper plant. So this is a Hungarian pepper plant, and as you can see, I've already got some peppers forming, but eventually this will be a very, very large bush inside of this with some hanging nasturtiums over the sides. So here we're in an area with a bit more different types of things. I've obviously gone a little nasturtium crazy this year, which is totally fine, but this is that artichoke that I was talking about. So not only is it a very beautiful plant, I grew this from seed here in Zone 3 Canada, and I put some nasturtiums in there for spillers. Now I'm thinking of adding oregano, mint, thyme, rosemary, something of that nature, just to give it a little bit more of a hang to it. But overall, this is what an artichoke looks like, and it's quite a beautiful thriller if you ask me. If you're into it, you may not be, it may not be your thing, but you could also do a cannabis plant in the middle with a filler or a spiller as well. Now you don't have to have a filler and a spiller, you can choose just one or the other depending on what you're doing, which is exactly what I did up in this pot here. So on my trellis I have cucamelons, which are going to be growing up and over, and then inside of here I have pansies, and I do not have any spillers, so it's just a filler and then my upward thriller. So again, completely edible, and I'm really excited about it. Another fun, not necessarily edible, but still usable plant you can try in your garden as a thriller or a spiller, depending on how you decide to utilize it, would be eucalyptus, which I got this year, and I'm going to give it a shot. So I hope this helped you guys decide on what to use in your garden when it comes to container gardening or regular gardening to make the entire garden edible, help you plan out your garden just a little bit better. I don't have all combinations of possible edible plants you can acquire, but on the website I did list out all the different options, which one would be considered a thriller, a filler, and a spiller. So go check that out if you're looking to arrange your pots or your garden in a more edible landscape. Let me know in the comments down below what your favorite edible plant is, and I will talk to you guys next time. Bye!